So today it's all about teaching you how to crave things that are good for you. And I'm going to explain to you why, whether it's something salty or sweet, what's going on in your brain, it's all a very similar reaction. And that's, of course, why we're having an epidemic in our society when it comes to eating too many sweets and actually becoming more and more obese. Because the pleasure centers of your brain light up just like if you're taking another addictive substances, whether it's cocaine or heroin. Same similar idea if you're eating sweets, for instance. Now, normally in your brain, you're looking at axons. Now, they communicate with each other. The green dots are dopamine. GABA is represented by the yellow dots. Usually they're in homeostasis, but when you're doing something addictive, your brain is flooded with dopamine. Your entire body gets that sensation of pleasure. And that feels great, right? After a really sugary meal. But there's a lot of things going on in your body after you eat, say, that really sugary meal. Your blood sugar is increasing significantly. As your blood sugar goes up, your pancreas responds. What does your pancreas do in response? It secretes insulin. So as your pancreas is secreting insulin, what it's doing is it's telling all this sugar in your body to enter your body's cells. But then something interesting happens. Up in your brain, you're going to see the brain goes dark. Because without that sugar rush, all those pleasure centers are no longer firing. So what do? You eat another cookie. You eat another sugary snack to get you excited again, to release more of that dopamine. The problem is, over time, as these behaviors become addictive, you eat not to feel good, just to feel normal.
You know, the average American eats 22 teaspoons of added sugar each day.
In addition to the natural sugars you're eating.
Right, exactly. And, you know, it doesn't count the fruit and all the good stuff. But, you know, what do you think this whole audience would eat an entire year?
We don't eat extra sugar. We're a good audience,
we did the math. I did the math, and this audience, in a given year together, eats 14,136 pounds of extra sugar in a year. That's 70 pounds a person. Here.
What does that sugar do? It turns into fat.
So think about sugar next time you're eating it. Are you eating it because you need it, or are you eating it to satisfy those pleasure centers we talked about? I do want to move on to our next, what we're calling another deadly S, and that is salt. So this is how much salt you all are eating. The average American consumes more than twice the recommended amount of sodium each and every day. That increases your risk for high blood pressure, heart attacks and heart disease, strokes, kidney failure. As your sodium intake increases for some people, that leads to your propensity to have high blood pressure. So what can you do if you're craving salt all day? Think about breakfast. Research actually shows that if you start your day with a high sugar breakfast, things like bagels or other sugary meals, throughout the day, it primes your body to crave more sugar, right? So switch to lean proteins in the morning instead, and you're less likely to overindulge in sugars throughout the day.
So if you want to cut out the sugar, add the spice. So instead of using sugar, use a little cinnamon or a little nutmeg to give that, you know, the flavor, a little sugary flavor to your food. Or if you want to give a little...
If you need the spice, instead of a, you know, you can use cayenne pepper to add a spicy flavor, or coriander. It gives it kind of a salty flavor. So natural ways to beat the salt.
Yeah.